Welcome to Thinking Green. As you all know, winter has finally hit after a December that really didn't feel very wintry, and now we have cold and snow. And the good side to that, even if you don't like cold and snow, is that you're in New London and it's January. So tonight's guests are going to talk about all the great stuff that is happening in about 10 days at the Hygienic, which has been an annual tradition here for decades and seems to be getting bigger and bigger every year. So I want to welcome Barbara Crouch, who's the Director of Development for Hygienic, and Amy Hannum. I don't know if you have a title, but you're
I'm the producer, creator, director of the Ice Carnival. The dreamer. The Ice Princess.
So welcome. I guess we can just start out and talk a little bit about what's going on this year, and we can be kind of sequential about it.
Well, I think I'll start. This is actually our 37th year for the annual show, or the salon. And every year we've added something, we've done something new, and we want to keep it fresh. It starts January 29th, which is a Friday, and we have the Hootenanny at 33 Golden in downtown and the Hygienic Screening Room. Both of those are great events. They're Friday night, music, independent films, so it's perfect. And then our big day really starts January 30th, which is that Saturday. So that's actually when we do the Ice Carnival. So I'll let Amy talk about the Ice Carnival on Saturday, January 30th.
Okay. What would you like to know? It seems like I get a lot of questions, but more and more people are hearing about the carnival.
How did it get started? It's a relatively new part of it.
Yes. So the Hygienic Annual Show is built on the auspice that you are invited to submit one piece, no censorship, no judge, no jury, no fees. So people can submit one thing. Well, I've been submitting things for 15 years, and about 7 years ago at the XXX show, the Hygienic 30th annual show, I decided that I wanted to do something different and create an interactive art spectacle in the art park. It's a gorgeous park. It's, I think, highly underutilized. During the summer, people are, having weddings there and having events there, but I really think it's so special that people should be using it more often. So I started doing interactive art events with the Lobster Bash for the XXX show, which I made a 9-foot lobster piñata. Stuffed it with things donated, some on vegetables.
It was the XXX show.
It was the XXX show. So I received a lot of donations from Bookazine when it was open, and other local businesses, Alliance for Living, and we stuffed the lobster with all of those things and invited everybody to come and take a whack at it, and it was a huge success. So I thought, well, this park is so beautiful and so underutilized in the winter. Why don't we start doing events here? So the Lobster Bash was my very first event 7 years ago. And then 4 years ago, I had this idea of, let's have a party for the public. What can we do that is fun, that's all ages, that invites my friends to come and participate in an art installation? And I came up with a carnival theme. It's interactive, the games are interactive, it promotes a lot of creativity, tons of collaboration for community members, and then it gets everybody into the art park to see what a gorgeous space it is and just have a lot of fun.
Now, do you find that, like yourself, some people do installations now in the art park as part of the carnival instead of taking a little piece of wall inside, or is it separate?
I don't know, can you rephrase that?
Do people do the art park, the carnival stuff, instead of submitting a piece, do you find? Or are they?
Well, my crew, largely, they don't consider themselves artists.
Oh, okay.
So
that answers my question.
They're really excited to get involved in the Ice Carnival because they're like, ooh, I can pretend to be an artist. When I actually feel that they are, because they're creating these interactive contraptions that bring people in. It's not just a painting on a wall. It's showing that art can be interactive, it can be creative, it can be scientific. And a lot of these games are flame-based, meaning your prize is fire. There's a group right now working on a game that is basically a bicycle, and you pedal for fire. So the harder you pedal, the more flames you get. But I mean, these
that's
people,
fantastic.
they don't consider themselves artists, but I think that that is really bringing the science and bringing the mechanics into art. So for my crew, it really expands the idea of art, and also for the people coming to the carnival, I think they get to interact with art in a different way. Like sometimes a gallery can be, I don't know, like a little nerve-wracking. People feel like they're looking at a piece of art and they need to understand it, or they need to study art in order to understand it. And the carnival is just showing people that we have art forums and we have interactive art that has been available for decades, centuries.
And I think it's great for us because, like Amy said, it makes art less intimidating. So they come to the carnival, they have a good time, and they're more likely to then come to the annual show because we're right there. And come in, and then they understand everything is art and everyone is an art critic. It's what you like, and you can create art. You know, every child's an artist, every person's an artist if you expand that concept. And art doesn't have to be intimidating. So I think for us, it brings a different group of people than would normally have come to the salon.
That's really interesting. Now, do people, what time does the art park event start? At the same time as
it starts
the
at
evening
6
one?
o'clock.
Oh,
so it's a little, there is the young artists, which begins at what time?
12 to noon, the young artist, and that's at the Guard.
12 to 4.
12 to 4.
Right, and it's the corner of State Street and
Meridian?
Meridian,
Yes,
right.
where Nancy's is.
The Guard Gallery.
Right, yes, that's where that is. But those young artists are allowed to bring in pieces the Thursday and Friday before, and sometimes the Saturday, so they have their own kind of salon. And then they get to create art during that period of time from 12 to 4. Of course, the salon, you come in from 8 to 5 to hang your piece.
Right.
Amy starts at 6.
6 o'clock.
And then we open at 7.
And
So
then
really, the
cabaret
whole
is,
day you can spend
absolutely.
downtown.
You can spend, I mean, is there something going on Sunday? That I'm trying to think of.
No, not Sunday, but the following
weekend.
and the following week, because the cabaret is on Thursday.
Oh, it's not.
It's Thursday, yes, Thursday, and the hygienic photogenic. You pick up your packets that day and you take pictures. So all of these things can be found on our website, hygienic.org, or like us on Facebook, Hygienic Art.
And then the Rock House is happening in conjunction with the Ice Carnival. They start at 8, right? Or
yes, the Rock House is from 7 to 1 a.m.
Okay.
Okay, so we
there's the
figured
basic
out.
lineup.
Yeah, and now we'll go into detail so people can figure out what they want to do. And I guess I want to go back to Friday night because although the salon has traditionally always started on Saturday, more and more there have been things going on Friday night. So tell us about
on Friday
the
night,
Hootenanny.
The first thing you have is the Hootenanny, and we have these great little posters. You can stop by Hygienic at 79 Bank, and
let's see if we can.
there we go, and grab one. The art is from Terry Davis Davo. Is that better? Great. At 33 Golden. And there's a list of acts here.
Okay.
And Sherry Stidfo coordinates this for us every year. It's wonderful. It's a great time, 6 to 9 p.m.
Okay, and we can tell people who are playing Sherwood starts out. That's Sherry and Woody. The Friendly Ghost. Who's in the Friendly Ghost?
I don't actually
I
know.
don't. If anyone's watching who's a caller who knows, I feel like I should know, but I don't.
And I know Ben Parent.
Oh yeah, he see Charlie and Bill Rayburn, the Carolans, Dennis and Mike, Nancy and Ben Parent from the River Gods are playing. Noah Feldman, Kevin Kane, and all. So it's kind of an old-fashioned hootenanny.
It is. It's exactly what it says. It's a hootenanny. So we have something for everyone.
And that starts at 6 on Friday night. So that's also kind of an old, well, 33 Golden isn't exactly an all ages venue, but this sounds like an all ages event.
It is an all ages event. We do, however, remind people that we will be serving alcohol. So, with that being said, and the same night, Andrew Bell does, let's see if we can get this right. We have the screening room, and basically it's a group of local independent filmmakers. So the filmmakers will be there. Submissions were done earlier, and if you want to submit next year, just call the Hygienic once again, like us on Facebook, or visit the sign. Normally, we accept submissions till about January 10th or 12th. And so you'll spend the night not only looking at independent film, but talking with those independent filmmakers. So this is a great, and the films run from 2 to 3 minutes to 15 or 20 minutes. So it's a great interactive thing. It depends on what you like. You can do both. It's a lot, but you have music, you have film on the same night, 7 to 10 at the Hygienic Galleries.
Okay, and I imagine that like the Hygienic Salon, I mean, this also says no judge, no jury, no fees.
Yes.
So you really don't know until you walk in what you're going to see.
But they're very good filmmakers, a lot of new filmmakers, and I think it gives people the opportunity to talk, for them to see their crafts, to see firsthand how the public views them. These are young directors, and some of them are established. But I think it's a great outlet for people in New London, because even though we think of ourselves as an art town, we forget photography is art. We forget filmmaking is art. We forget music is performance art. We forget installations that deal with science or my favorite, math. That is all art. And it's beautiful. And I tell people there's nothing more beautiful than Calc 2 actually seeing visually a three-dimensional representation of some of those formulas. So I think that it expands your idea, and it gives people the opportunity. All of these are free or by suggested donation, so it gives everybody the opportunity to participate, and that's what we love. We're bringing art to the masses. Everything from every age group, from every genre, everybody has that opportunity.
And that's really what's so great about New London. I mean, sometimes, I must admit, the political side can make you really kind of crazy.
Come to the art side.
And then, you go to the art side. Well, it's funny, when I was on the Board of Ed and was more involved in the political side than I am now, I purposely felt like I had to go to the art side, because it's like, ooh, you have to be reminded of what the real New London is, and why all of us gravitate here. So yeah, it's so it looks as though the Hygienic is, of course, expanding not just from visual art, which was the original salon back 37 years ago, to all these other facets of art.
And we have fashion. Fashion in the Ballroom is Friday, February 5th at the Crocker House. And we also have the Mayfly Playhouse, which is a local favorite and one of my favorites, which is Saturday, February 6th. So we have poets, so we have poetry. So I think all facets of performance art, the cabaret. I'd like to remind you the cabaret is an adult show. We're very, very pleased this year. We have Kia B from Kia B Productions, who's actually doing it.
Fantastic.
Yeah. She's incredible. We have performers from New York that are coming in, and it's going to be great. Ben Parent was wonderful and nice enough to help us coordinate the Rock House at the Crocker House, which we're having this year. And it's going to be a group of local bands starting at 7 p.m., and that's the first Friday, which is first Saturday, excuse me,
Okay,
January
that's the
3rd.
big night.
This is, January 3rd is the big night.
Yeah.
It's the big night where you bring your friends and you run from venue to venue, and all of this is in downtown New London, so,
Even if it's cold, you're really not walking more than 2 or 3 blocks.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right, and it's great, and of course you get free hot chocolate and tea.
Well,
wait.
for a song.
For a song. Okay, so
Yes.
not quite free.
Well, it is free.
Yes.
There is no money used at the Ice Carnival. Let me see if should I hold this up? Here's the poster for the Ice Carnival. You will probably see this. Tickets for a song, so be forewarned. It is free, but you need to do something in exchange for these tickets. So a song is preferred, but I leave it up to the ticket mistress. This year we have 2 different ticket mistresses. So you come to the gates and they will tell you what you need to do for tickets. It's usually a song that some people, they say
So
they
what
can't
else
sing,
have people done?
So the most, I haven't heard of anybody not singing a song. Usually people love to sing, and if you can't hit a note, it doesn't matter because it's wonderful to sing anyway. You know, you don't have to hit the note.
And no
It's
one's
all
going to
about
say to you,
feeling.
no ticket for you because
Well, you could do something different. I don't think anybody refused to sing a song, but we did have one gentleman, a local artist, Adam Campos, who does beautiful photographs. He sang a song in Wookiee, which I really wish I would have heard, but that
or
was the most.
recorded so we could all hear.
It might have been recorded. John Day, another artist in the area, was doing recordings of the last Ice Carnival, which was really entertaining. I got to hear some clips of that, and he's actually working on making that a piece, an art piece, the recording of the last carnival. And he'll be doing some recordings at this carnival as well as hosting a game. But so the carnival is a little bit more organized this year as far as we're going to have an opening ceremony of fire performances just before the gates open. So the performers will be inside the gate and the people will be waiting outside of the gate. We'll have a fire performance in between the gates. And then the carnival will open and we'll have fire performances on the hour. Just short little performances on the hour. It really does attract a lot of attention. And then we're going to have what we call a spin jam at the end. So if you're a fire performer and you're of a performance level, we have invited a few extra performers to come and do a big jam at the end.
Now, I would not have thought that there were many fire performers in the area.
So many. Connecticut
I was wrong.
Fire Collective, Firefly, Wildfire Arts Collective. If you really start looking, and just on Facebook, there are so many fire performers and really, really, really talented ones. Flaming bicycles and whole routines, and there are several different art forms of fire performance with fans or breathing fire or the poi, which are spun, and then there's fire dart, where they light something on the end of a rope and you can throw it, and then they wrap it around their arms to pull it in. It's really amazing. So we have a lot of different, we have about 5 performers that are going to perform at the carnival and do short performances.
Now, are they
on the
all
hour.
fire related or are there ice related things as well?
We have an ice sculptor for the first year ever. I'm very, very excited. Chris Connors is in the Brantford area, and he is from Custom Wood Carvings, and he has agreed to come up and do a couple of ice carvings on site. So that's going to be happening live during the carnival. I'm very excited, very, very excited.
So outside we got fire and ice.
Fire and ice, yes.
So for the so let's move inside a little, and I think many of the viewers, I hope all of them have experienced Hygienic at least once, but in case they haven't, what is it like inside the gallery?
It is visual overload. I moved to the area about 8 years ago, and my first salon was 5 years ago. Literally every piece of space has art. Everything from very large pieces, from sculpture. My favorite still is Disco Jesus from last year.
Oh.
It'll be at the Ice Carnival.
Yay! So
If you missed it, it's coming back.
And what happens is we get artists from all over. We have people that ship stuff to us from overseas that they want to hang. So at 8 a.m. we open our doors, people come in, they hang their stuff. Some things are for sale, some things are not. Everything imaginable. We have artists from 5 or 6 that hang, high school students, older people, professional artists, people who do things on the side. Every political art, non-political art, normally between 400 to 500 artists, sometimes as many as 600. So literally from 8 to 5, artists come in, we hang all day, We close down at 5.
So artists, if they want a good spot, they should come early.
The earlier you come, the better it is. A lot of people, depending if you have a really large piece, of course you want to get there early so that they can get a space where they're on the wall or wherever. We use all 4 of our galleries. People don't realize we have the lower gallery, and then we have the 3 upper galleries. So we literally try to use every single space, every single wall space, everything that we can hang, using the windows also. Absolutely beautiful. We kick everybody out, get everything together, open the doors at 7 and invite everybody in. Normally there's also a line at 7, so we invite you to go to the local restaurants, our sponsors. It is absolutely incredible, and we keep the salon open from 7 till midnight. And that's so that you can hang out with Amy, do things, and still not miss seeing that. And remember, the salon is for 2 weeks. So if you don't want to come out that night, if it's not your thing, if you don't like crowds, the art for the salon will be there for 2 weeks at the Hygienic.
Right. So because on the first night, in addition to the walls being chock-a-block with art, forget any idea of personal space.
That's true.
People dress up. People have a good time. It really is a way, because you're in New England, it's cold. People have kind of been there. You get to see everybody. You get to do stuff. It's just so much stuff that you get to do. If you're into music, that's there. If you're really into your children, you're a mother, you're a dad, you're a grandmother, there's the young artist that you can do. If you're into fashion, fashion in the ballroom. The cabaret, if you like more of a kind of burlesque type show. And we close it with what we call the last word, which is Hygienic Poets. February 13th, we invite local poets. They either read or perform their poetry, and then we have an open mic night. And when you wow us, you can win first, second, or third prize.
Wow.
So there's so much to do, and it's so incredible. And if you haven't experienced it, I think it's something unlike anything else in the world. And because of our great sponsors and people who support us and have supported us for years, maybe just 1 year, maybe for 37 years, we ask for donations. We always accept donations. You can go to our website. You can go to our Facebook page and donate to us. You can donate that night. We're nonprofit, so everything is tax exempt. This year we're very excited. Mariana Reck and Lane, the law firm, Burns Insurance, Dime Bank, F&F Distributors, and hopefully I don't miss anybody else. Ooh. Oh, the state of Connecticut, of course, because through a grant, through an interactive grant. Make sure we get all our sponsors, and Pro Systems. So, and of course, tons of people donate when they get there. We have donation box, but really our goal is to keep these events free so that everyone can experience them. So that's what we do. We have a great list of volunteers and coordinators. Not only do we need your money, and people say, well, I don't have money. We would love your time. We always are in search of volunteers. You know, we have things at Hygienic during the summer. We have a wonderful show that's going on now, Whalers and Lancers, which is New London High School.
Oh yeah, in fact we should talk about that, because people might not want to wait till Saturday to visit the Hygienic.
We have 2 shows going on right now, which are actually very great. We have Whalers and Lancers, which are high school students from New London and from Waterford High School. But in our lower gallery, we have the Ultimate Commitment, and they're works by K through 12 art teachers.
Oh.
So you have both teachers and students, and that show runs until this Saturday at 6 p.m. It's some incredible, incredible work. There's everything from pottery to regular art to pen and ink. We have jewelry makers, absolutely everything. They are so talented. It's amazing, and the art teachers are so dedicated. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have about 702 pieces of art.
Oh, wow.
For that show.
And I'm guessing that, like the other shows, some are for sale and some aren't.
Some are for sale, some are not. It's very interesting because the pieces that I loved, of course, were not for sale, because I forget a lot of people need this for their portfolios. They're high school students, so they're building a portfolio to get into art school. So they really can't sell them, but it's absolutely, it will blow you away. And that is an annual show. This is the 8th year we've done it. So it's something that
Yes.
the beginning of January every year, right before the annual show. We do it every single year. So like clockwork, you can, mark it on your calendars. And like I said, it's been a great experience for me meeting some of the students. It's just been incredible. It's an absolutely beautiful show. On our Facebook page, we have some photographs of the show. But I'd love for anybody to come down and everybody to come down and take a look.
So I'll ask you, what are your gallery hours during the day?
We are open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 3. Now, starting Sunday, this Sunday, we will be dark, preparing for the annual show. So, once again, if you follow us on Facebook, like us, we will. The great thing about coming to the annual show, though, is you will be the first to get the list of all the shows for 2016, the exhibition schedule. So that won't go live to the public till after the salon, but if you come to the salon, you'll get
You
that
can pick
list.
it up. And I wanted to mention, too, you mentioned the possibility of donations and the sponsors you have, but you usually have merchandise as well.
We do.
So what can people pick up to remember this night by?
We have wonderful, wonderful T-shirts that we'll have, and we do also have what we call some vintage T-shirts. We still have a few T-shirts from XXX, so if you want to get those. We have commemorative posters.
Oh, yeah, you can buy any one of these posters, I think.
And I think there are some other ones, too.
Right, there are tons. This is,
Yeah, I wonder if we can,
we can zoom
this
in.
is this year's,
This is, there we go. Is that better? This is this year's main poster. Every year, Jacqueline Phillips does a wonderful piece for us. It's also a poster this year. So come down. We have posters, we have T-shirts, and the experience. Just the experience of being there and seeing the wonderfully talented people in New London is incredible. And if traditional art is not your thing, fashion in the ballroom will be. It's incredible. It's an incredible
Even if
fashion show.
traditional art isn't your thing, it's become less traditional. I think I've seen waves of the hygienic show go from extremely experimental at the L&G, which was my introduction. All of the hygienic annual shows were at the L&G, and people dressed up. People were wearing crazy costumes. There was a lot of risque art. I'm happy to see that coming back. I think when we first, I think when the Hygienic first bought the building and opened the gallery there, things got a little bit, because it was an official gallery. I don't know if people got scared off who normally did more risque art, but it became a little tame for a while, and now we're getting back into our wild roots, and I'm really enjoying that.
Well, I do think that the building, once it was renovated, I kind of remember the very early ones at the Hygienic when it was a Greasy Spoon.
Oh, wow.
And, it just didn't seem like, it seemed like the kind of setting that people could be kind of grungy and crazy. And, I remember one year seeing, some woman in a gown made of cellophane, saran wrap. And it's like, it's in the middle of January, but, it's the Hygienic, so I'm going to wear a gown that's made of saran wrap. And
we do still have people who dress up, who dress the part. I've decided this year I'm actually going to dress up.
Oh, excellent.
So I'm going to dress up this year. So I don't know how risque it will be.
But one extra motivation you all have for going is to see. See what Barbara's dressed as.
Right.
Will I be the anti-Lady Gaga and I'll have spinach?
A spinach dress?
Oh,
there you go.
Instead of
the vegan dress?
I'll have the vegan dress,
You could be sponsored by Right Path, the new plant-based restaurant downtown.
Yeah. So it's just wonderful. It's incredible. And I think unless you've experienced it, you don't understand why we're so excited, but you really I don't think you can live in this region and not do it. You have to. It's like a rite of passage. I think you really have to do it.
Well, it is kind of the ultimate, solstice activity. I mean, there's fire, there's people, there's, just a bustle of all kinds of activity. And sure, the holidays are over, but Actually, the weather is more depressing now than it was a month ago.
And that's
so
one
we
of the-
really need it.
That's one of the best things about this event. I think years ago it was really hyped as New London's only winter attraction, which I always got a kick out of that tagline. But it is really true, because toward the end of January, we're all sort of, the weather gets colder and we're all sort of cloistering and getting all cozy in our houses, and then this is a chance to get out and do some fun things. And the carnival, you could really spend half an hour, I think, at the carnival and not miss a thing. And then go get warm. Go see the art in the gallery. You know, go to the Rock House and see some of the bands that are playing. There's really enough time, I feel, to do everything
I think
that
so.
night. And like you said, walk 2 blocks to get there.
So it's still like New London's only winter attraction, except that it's 10 attractions.
Well, I like to say it's the New London's premier winter attraction. Not only, let's just say premier, longest run. But we love the partnership we have with local businesses downtown. So it works really well. Everything is really within a 4 or 5 block radius. You get to see great things, interact with great people, see the artists. It's, like I said, everything from stuff for children. I'm really, I think, looking forward to the cabaret. I really just cannot, from belly dancers to erotic poetry, and I love poetry, so erotic poetry. And I think the hygienic photogenic this year, shoot pictures, not people.
That's fun.
I think it's fun. Last year it was a fairy tale theme, but this year, I think with what's going on in the world and as we're moving towards peace, I think it's a very good kind of representation of that. So, and
Now, the exact theme isn't revealed till the night of, right? Is that correct?
no,
Or-
the words are not. So the theme is revealed. There are posters out there, so we know it's shoot pictures, not people. Now, what
Okay.
does that mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think we
We
have.
don't have their poster. But,
Okay.
So you get a packet, and it's really great, and there are 10 words. And so as a photographer, you interpret those 10 words, bring those pictures back, and then at our gallery across the street, Expressiones, that's where the opening is. So, for example, last year, one of the words was tail, and somebody interpreted it as the whale's tail. Of course, it was spelled tail as in fairy tale, and then giant, and it was the Bigfoot
Oh,
on the back of the mural.
Right. Yep.
So it's really interesting to see how people interpret and how different. You would think with 20 people, somebody would use the same thing, but they don't. So it's I really enjoy that. It's really interesting to see, and it's great photography.
now if people want to participate in that, then Saturday night they should pick up
Yes.
their packets.
There's a limited number of packets.
You
So
said it's limited to 25 or
I
something
think
like
it's
that?
20 or 25, right. So you come in, you get your packets, and you get your pictures, you develop them, and your photographs, and then there's the opening.
Now, what date is the opening?
The opening, I do believe, is February 5th.
So you really only have a week to do all this.
Yes.
And I assume it's a commitment. If you pick it up, you want to do it.
Yeah, you do, and I think it's
Well,
fun.
see, the Playhouse is only 24 hours.
Hours, right.
So,
The Mayfly
so
Playhouse.
for 5 days is
Oh,
plenty,
yeah, that's
right?
nothing, right?
And the first time I saw the Mayfly Playhouse, and if you don't kind of know what that is, basically what happens is in the morning you come, you're an actor, writer, producer, you're given a theme, you have to write, produce, and then perform within 24 hours a one-act play.
And I've gone to the performances, but cannot, for the life of me, imagine what it would be like to be spending the 24 hours before that performance.
But I think that the people are so talented. I thought that it was going to be performances for 24 hours. I didn't realize, because it was everything is so well put together, that they actually didn't have a play, didn't have a director, didn't have any of this 24 hours ago.
Yep.
So I think that's what's amazing to me, not being a playwright or anything, but it's so good. They're just so good.
And I've taken part in the 48-hour film festival,
Oh.
which is a little similar in New Haven a couple of times. And I mean, you basically just don't sleep. I mean, it's what happens.
I'm sure
but
that's
it's a
true.
lot of fun. And when you have a great crew, and I know a lot of the people who take part in the Playhouse, the Mayfly Playhouse, they've done this for years, so it's fun. You know, it's sort of exciting to push yourself and create a story in a one-act play in 24 hours.
And produce it, and
Right, yes.
Everything, the blocking, the costuming, yeah.
everything is done in a day.
Yep.
Okay, so on the 30th, the one other thing I want to mention in more detail, I think you've mentioned the Rock House. And so Friday night there's a hootenanny, and all the musicians are kind of folky. Well, that's what hootenannies are supposed to be.
Right.
So the Rock House is a little bit not quite so folky at all. And I don't know all these bands. The Cranks, Ken Atkins and the Hunky Tonk Kind, Straight to VHS, Fatal Film, NME, The Illest. I don't know them at all. Heap, and I don't know the Bright Midnight, and they're the last ones, so I'm guessing they're really good.
They all are really good. Once again, Ben Parent was nice enough to coordinate this for us this year. He knows a lot, and what we try to do, and one of the things, just like we try to help emergent artists and help local artists, that includes our bands. So we want local bands, we want to help them, give them a platform. They'll be selling their CDs and all
Right.
that sort of stuff. So that's part of what we do and how we do it, is we want to help the local artist here. So we're not going to go out and go to New York or go to those places, because we're going to give them a platform. And we as artists, and I say I'm an artist, if you've ever seen a grant I've written, it's definitely sometimes a work of fiction. No, it's not. Everything is true. But we pay them because that they have a value. So I think it's great that we get local people, and everybody kind of locally has kind of their following. And I can tell you, Ken Atkins and the Honky Tonk Kind, they actually performed the night Webb Wilder performed at the Art Park last summer. And I'm originally from Mississippi, so he's from Hattiesburg. So I was like, I'm standing in the rain to watch somebody. I'm, not of that age anymore, but I did. So these are great local bands. It's a mix of different types of music. So I think it gives everybody kind of a little taste, and then they can like these people, follow them, but it gives them a great platform as local artists. And the Crocker House is absolutely wonderful, and Pro Systems with helping us and giving us discounts and things of that nature. So once again, we can keep the costs low or free.
And it's a venue that actually fits a lot of people pretty comfortably.
It is a suggested donation,
Yeah.
right?
Right, a
Is it
suggested
$10?
donation of $10, yes.
Okay.
And looking at this list, it does seem as though they're all local bands or bands with local roots, but also some that are well-known and some that are relatively new, I think. At least to me, some are known and some are new. So the 29th, the 30th, the 5th, tell us a little bit more about the fashion in the ballroom.
That's one of my favorites.
That is, we have people lined up for fashion in the ballrooms. What happens is we open the doors for seating at 7:30. The actual fashion show starts at 8. We have a DJ. They're local. Both models are local and the designers are local. Susan Brickman, who's a resident artist at the Hygienic, coordinates that for us each year. And it's really, I think, wonderful. It's exciting. It's local. It's just like New York Fashion Week, except it's New London Fashion Week and it's here. There's an intermission. It's really good. The fashion is incredible. They set up little boutiques so you can actually purchase. It just gives you, I like the feel of it. I don't know about
love
you.
it. I absolutely love it.
The music, there's a DJ, so it's very upbeat. So you do feel like kind of you're in like a tent in New York for New York Fashion Week.
Oh
or
yeah, the way
something.
they set it up with the catwalk and everything, it really is very, very well done. I look forward to it every year.
And people, once again, that's one of the things that people line up for because they want to get those front row seats. Casey Spectacular, who's also a resident artist, will MC this year again. He's fabulous, absolutely fabulous, and he's with Spark, another arts organization in New London. So it's really a good mix. The models are all local too, so there are people who try out and who do it. Once again, Susan does this every year. Normally she starts in October getting together, so if you're interested next year in participating as a designer, shoot either hygienic.art@gmail.com a line and we'll let her know. If you're interested in performing as a band next year, do that now, and we'll make sure that we email you and let you know of everything that's going on. So that's kind of, it's an eclectic group of people at Fashion in the Ballroom. Everyone from women to men, people younger, people older, because each one of the designers has kind of a different style. I really liked last year, I cannot remember the designer's name, and I know she's going to, but she had more of the 50s sort of feel.
Oh, yeah.
And so everything was kind of varied, and her models had that 50s silhouette. So it just really, and the music was Meghan Trainor, which she kind of has that vibe. So I really liked how everything worked together.
And a couple of years ago, there was a woman who was a model in it, but then her children were in it as well. She has 2 daughters, and they modeled some outfits. So it really is. And actually, if I can segue to the carnival, it's actually a very similar call. I generally put out the call for interactive art in October. And the carnival is really is open to everybody as far as submitting a piece. I'm the dreamer. I'm the one who said, let's have a party for free for the public, and let's have games. But every person who runs an interactive art piece at the carnival is an entity unto themselves. They're friends of mine or complete strangers. This year I thought, what is missing from the carnival? What do I really, really want? And I wanted some sort of a fun house on the stage, because the stage has been kind of underutilized since the Lobster Bash. And I was put in touch with some people who run the Trail of Terror in Waterford. And they are such a fantastic group. They came to the planning meeting, they were very excited. I told them what I was looking for. And here are complete strangers who are so excited about my event. They want me to get involved in their event next October. But here, it's a very open call on all aspects. Of course, it all has to be organized, and I figure out where there's space for everybody. But it's just a wonderful process to be able to say, oh, do you have an idea? Let me know what you want to do for the carnival. So really, this is sort of an open call as well, sort of like the fashion show. October is the time to get it started, because then the holidays come, and everybody forgets about it until January 2nd.
So really,
like,
if you're thinking about it, by the end of September or October, start making contacts.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, the last thing on your list is the poets, but we have a very short video of scenes from last year's Hygienic, and I was wondering if we could show that, and then we can talk about the poetry.
Okay, great.
On that weekend and ongoing. Well,
just to segue, because this is happening tomorrow, on the 3rd Wednesday of the month, 6 to 8, we have Arm Your Voices, which is the Hygienic Poets series. And from 8 to 10, we have Hygienic Harbor music. So tomorrow night, between 6 and 8, there's Arm Your Voices poetry. 8 to 10, there's music. And it's Marvelous Liars is the music.
Nice.
Yes, they're going to be really incredible. And that's ongoing, so.
Great. Can we get it? Or if we can't, we can talk.
You can talk.
Okay.
Oh, okay, we'll talk. Okay, so we can talk about the poetry at the Hygienic as well.
Yeah, and this one is great. It's Last Word. It's Saturday, February 13th. Sign up is 6 p.m. in the gallery. We have a couple of poets that are going to read or perform, and then it's going to be open mic. So anyone who wants to come, there's no judge, no jury. If you want to come, read your poetry, interact with other poets, find out about other readings, then this is the place to be.
You ready?
And it looks like we have some video.
Great.
Okay, well, we're down to our last 4 minutes. So I guess a good way to end might be to let people know what they can do to get involved.
You can email us at hygienicart@gmail. We still actually have a few volunteer spots open for the annual show for several different events you can pick.
So don't wait, you can
Just
contact
email
today.
us tonight. Email us tonight and we'll get back with you. And if you want to be involved in the Hygienic, once again, volunteer opportunities. We have tons of events. And the last event that I have to talk about is Artist Academy Junior, which runs on Saturday mornings, 10:30 to 12. Go to our website. You can register your kids. It's a great storytelling and art event. Great. Wonderful.
Well, I think in general, I kind of remember the old Hygienic, and I remember when the building was going to be turned into a parking lot. And it seems to me that when that building was saved and put to good use in the community, it was such a catalyst for things happening, because it seemed as though finally something could happen that really helped people. It wasn't just about parking cars. And of course, the art park came later. That was an empty, lot for quite a long time. And it's made a huge difference downtown. Yeah. So we can see everyone downtown, we hope, next week, a week from, not this coming weekend, the weekend after, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the next weekend. You can look up Hygienic Art on Facebook and get the full list. And these printouts are available at the gallery.
Right. And if you're on our mailing list, you'll be getting e-blast, and you would have gotten one of these beautiful things at your home. So if you want to get involved,
1 minute.
Sign up for our e-blast and our mailing list.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Amy. It was fun. And
thank you.
Next week, it's going to be the Fiddlehead's 8th birthday coming up.
Yay.
So we are going to have guests from Fiddlehead's talking about the 8 years it's been in existence and some of the recent changes and the plans for the future. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, Rana.
Thanks for coming on. We'll see you all over the weekend.
Oh yeah, I like this. I was raised down at Fort Trumbull, warm friends and family around me. What's now a blighted neighborhood, overlooking a river to the sea. Soon all that'll be left of it will be nothing but them good old memories. Them parking lots having